Hazards and emergencies. The objective of this lecture is to understand the hazards and emergencies on the road and to learn the ways to deal with them safely. The key modules of this lecture are hazard perception, categories of hazards, emergencies, safe behavior, and your responsibilities in the event of a collision. We will start with the first module, hazard perception. Hazard perception. Being a road user, it is very important to understand what is hazard perception. To understand hazard perception better, let's divide it into two parts: the hazard, the perception. Hazard is anything that has the potential to cause harm. In driving terms, hazard can be anything that may cause the drivers to alter the speed, direction, or the position of the vehicle. The common types of hazards are actual hazards, potential hazards. Let's learn about actual hazards. An actual hazard can be anything which is physically present in front of you and forces you to decrease the speed or alter the direction. Examples of actual hazards are roundabouts or T-intersections, a slow-moving or stationary vehicle in your lane, curves or bends that require you to reduce your speed, an opening door of a parked vehicle, pedestrians crossing the road, slippery road surface. Potential hazards. A potential hazard is something that is not physically present in front of you, but may appear suddenly, forcing you to react. Some examples of potential hazards are a vehicle waiting at the T-intersection to enter the main stream, a vehicle using the indicator to change lane, pedestrians or cyclists present at the pedestrian crossing, motorcycle rider in the right lane behind a slow-moving truck while you're present in the middle lane on a multi-lane road. Apart from actual and potential hazards, it is also important to understand immediate hazard, cause of hazard. Immediate hazard. An immediate hazard can be identified by prioritizing the hazards in case of multiple hazards. An immediate hazard is an imminent danger which pops up at extreme close proximity. For instance, the opening door of a parked vehicle while you're about to cross it, or a child running across in front of your vehicle. In this situation, both are hazardous instances, but the opening door of the vehicle is an immediate hazard. Cause of hazard. Anything on the road which tends to create a hazardous situation is called the cause of the hazard. For example, a vehicle aquaplaning on the road during a rain. In this case, the vehicle is the hazard. However, the cause of the hazard is the rain. Remember, hazards can be different depending on the area where the motorists are driving, such as residential areas, rural roads, freeways. Perception. Perception is the process of being aware of something with the help of sensory information. In driving terms, perception is the ability to scan the details of the road with the help of your senses in order to use that information to interact with the scenario. For example, before crossing the street in a busy area, pedestrians rely on their hearing and sight to ensure that vehicles are not approaching and it is safe to cross the road. The ability to perceive can be affected by age, level of understanding, nature of information. The skills of perception are used to analyze the type of hazard. Hazard perception is the ability to identify potentially dangerous traffic situations. Hazard perception is a vital part of the driving task. Insufficient skills in perceiving a hazard can lead to crashes, especially in the case of novice drivers. Proper hazard perception not only consists of scanning and perceiving a hazard in time, but also correctly appraising the seriousness of it by assessing the level of the risk and predicting what might happen next, responding in a way to avoid or deal with the possible hazard. The hazard perception skills improve with experience. However, for the sake of novice drivers, the driving experts have delivered a method to accelerate the ability to forecast and identify driving hazards and apply appropriate planning. This is ensured by exposing them early to dangerous driving situations with the help of hazard perception clips. Based on this, they need to qualify a test known as the Hazard Perception Test, or HPT. The HPT is a system-based touchscreen test that measures the ability to forecast, anticipate, and identify the driving hazards. This test was first introduced and implemented in the United Kingdom as part of the theory test in 2002. In Dubai, RTA introduced HPT in the year 2015 to help the learner drivers improve their hazard perception skills and develop the ability to drive safely. In general, drivers can improve hazard perception skills by looking far and wide, see wider and farther to filter possible hazards, anticipating, scan the movement of other road users to anticipate their actions, controlling and adjusting speed, slow down and cover the brake pedal to reduce the reaction time, self-assessment, be aware of own physical and mental condition as it affects driving, stay calm, as being calm helps to stay in control. Emergencies. In this module, you will learn about roadside emergencies and the ways to handle them safely. There are various problems a vehicle may face leading to roadside emergencies. Motorists should prepare ahead of time for the most common roadside emergencies because a simple emergency gear and a basic mechanical knowledge can help to get through most emergencies or breakdowns. Emergency kit. A basic vehicle emergency gear includes owner's manual, first aid kit, portable fire extinguisher, suitable for the type of vehicle, high visibility safety vest, at least 2, reflective triangle, flashlight, jump cable, spare tire, jack and jack handle, lug wrench, brick, wedge, tire pressure gauge, industrial type gloves, engine oil, brake fluid, radiator coolant. Mechanical knowledge. Now let's see what kind of mechanical knowledge is required to tackle emergencies. Some of the roadside emergencies can be fixed with basic mechanical knowledge and without much effort. Therefore, it is always better for the drivers to have a plan to get back to the road safely. Some of the common roadside emergencies are stuck vehicle, engine overheating, flat tire, dead battery. In any of these emergencies, the driver should not be panic, but act wisely. Let's understand how to sort out these issues one by one. Stuck vehicle. In the UAE, the road infrastructure is well designed, which allows the traffic to move smoothly. However, sometimes motorists traverse across sandy areas to reach their destination early and get stuck in the sand. This happens because sand has a loose surface which causes the tires to sink in and lose traction. In case you get stuck in sand, the most important thing to remember is to avoid accelerating, as it can make the vehicle sink deeper into the sand. In this situation, the driver should reduce the tire pressure to create greater surface area and improve traction. Select the lowest gear and keep the front wheel pointed straight. Gently accelerate and allow the wheel to move the vehicle forward. Avoid increasing the RPM over 2000 as it may force the wheels to spin. Decelerate and allow the vehicle to fall back into the ruts. Immediately apply the accelerator again to move the vehicle forward. Continue this procedure to build the momentum to rock the vehicle out of the sand pit. Once the vehicle is out of the sand pit, do not follow the same path. Use an alternative route with a better surface. Remember, if these attempts are not helping and the vehicle still remains stuck, then look for a tow service. Engine overheating. Another common roadside emergency is engine overheating, which can quickly lead to a very dangerous scenario, including a fire in the vehicle. This is because a vehicle's running engine produces tremendous heat when the fuel burns. This heat, if not encountered properly, can cause the engine to overheat and damage it. This could be due to several reasons, but the most common reason is having a low level of coolant in the radiator. Therefore, while driving, if the reading in the temperature gauge climbs up, pull over immediately to the nearest safe place. In case of engine overheating, the driver should open the hood to allow the heat to disperse faster. Check the coolant level in the reservoir tank located near the radiator. If the coolant level is low, consider topping up the reservoir without turning off the engine. This should cool down the engine unless there is a leak. If the coolant is up to the mark, quickly turn off the engine as it indicates another problem that can be serious. Consult a competent technician to diagnose and fix the problem. Remember, it is advisable not to open the radiator cap when it is hot, as this is extremely dangerous. Flat tire. Changing a flat tire is an easy procedure, but requires a little effort. A tire could go flat anywhere on the road. Therefore, it is important for all drivers to know how to change a flat tire. Drivers should be familiar with the instructions in the vehicle's owner's manual, as the tire changing procedure may differ in some vehicles. In general, the steps for changing tire are as follows. find a good, stable and safe place to change a flat tire. Stop the vehicle as far away from the traffic as possible. Apply the parking brake and shift the gear selector into the park position. Turn on the hazard lights and place the reflective triangle behind the vehicle at a safe distance. Wear the protective gloves and the high visibility vest for safety. Chock the wheel in front and back of the diagonally opposite tire with the help of a block or a wedge. Take up the spare tire and the jack. Place the jack under the frame near the flat tire and ensure that the jack is in contact with the metal portion of the vehicle frame. Raise the jack until it is supporting the vehicle but not lifting the vehicle. Remove the hubcap and loosen the nuts with the help of a lug wrench by turning counterclockwise. Don't remove the nuts completely, just break the resistance. Crank up the jack to lift the tire off the ground high enough to remove and replace the tire. Remove the nuts and the tire. It is advisable to place the flat tire under the vehicle for safety measures. Place the spare tire on the hub, aligning the rim of the spare tire with the wheel box. Tighten the nuts diagonally by hand until they are firm. Lower the vehicle without applying the full weight on the tire and tighten the nuts as much as possible. Crank down the jack to lower the vehicle to the ground fully and remove the jack. Finally, tighten the nuts again and place the hubcap. Put the flat tire in the trunk and take it to the workshop. Remember, change the tire on the road only if it is completely safe to do so, otherwise call roadside assistance. Dead battery. The reason for a dead battery could be due to accidentally leaving a vehicle's lights on or any other mechanical or electrical problems. This problem can be settled by jump-starting the vehicle. Jump-starting a vehicle is simple, but it is a serious matter. Drivers must do it in the right way to do it safely. To jump-start a vehicle, drivers need another vehicle with a good battery. Pull a good battery vehicle close enough to the dead battery vehicle to connect the jumper cables. Turn off the ignition and all electrical accessories in both the vehicles. Connect the positive jumper clamp, which is marked positive or colored red, to the positive terminal of the dead battery. Attach the other end of the positive jumper clamp on the positive terminal on the good battery. Connect the negative jumper clamp, marked with a minus sign or colored black, to the negative terminal of the good battery. Attach the other end of the negative jumper clamp to the negative terminal on the dead battery. Make sure that all the cable clamps are making good and tight contacts with the terminals. Start the good battery vehicle and let it charge the dead battery for some time. Afterwards, start the dead battery vehicle with the cables still in place. When the vehicle with the weak battery starts, wait for some time to make sure it does not stall. If the vehicle does not start, call the professionals for assistance. To disconnect the cables, follow the reverse order. First remove the negative cable from the jumped vehicle, then the other end of the cable from the vehicle with the good battery. Afterwards, remove the positive cable from the terminal of the good battery, and finally, remove the positive cable from the vehicle with the weak battery. Remember, if the engine is running after jump starting, be careful while removing the cables to avoid contact with belts, fans, and other moving parts in the engine compartment. Safe behavior and your responsibility in the event of a collision. In this module, we will discuss about the driver's responsibility in case of a crash. The increasing number of vehicles on the road are directly related to the increase in the number of vehicle accidents. All road users have certain responsibilities which they must follow if involved in an accident. Important rule: if you are involved in a collision, regardless of severity or apparent blame, you are required to stop and notify the police of your collision within 6 hours. You must also give assistance and care to the victim of a collision, especially those who are injured. Traffic Law Number 21, 1995. The steps to be followed in the event of a collision are: initial actions. All vehicles involved in a collision must stop in the nearest safe place immediately. If possible, do not obstruct traffic and move your vehicle off the live carriageway. In Dubai, those who do not move the vehicle that is still drivable will be fined. Turn your hazard lights on and get out of your vehicle carefully. If possible, go through the doors that are away from the live traffic lanes. Unless somebody is injured or trapped, or if it is not possible to get out of the vehicle safely, remain in the vehicle. Wear high visibility jacket, if available, in your vehicle. check with the other people involved whether anyone is injured. Only administer first aid if you are qualified to do so. Do not attempt to move injured accident victims, as this can make some injuries worse and may lead to legal issues for untrained first aiders. Never remove an injured motorcyclist's helmet. You may detect signs and symptoms of shock in collision victims. This could include paleness, blue or grey, cold and sweaty skin, rapid and shallow breathing, a rapid and weak pulse, nausea and thirst. Cover accident victims who show signs of shock with a jacket or blanket to keep them warm. Try to keep them conscious by talking to them, but do not aggressively keep them awake. Do not allow shock victims to drink, eat or smoke. If possible, move to a place of safety, preferably behind a crash barrier or other solid objects. Keep watching the approaching traffic and be prepared to move if necessary. You should never stand in front of your vehicle or immediately behind it, especially at night, as you may obscure the rear lights. Dial 999 and ask for the police. Request an ambulance if anybody is injured. Follow the acronym LINE to supply information to the emergency services. L. Location, including area, street name, landmark, e.g. building name, number, feature or intersection. I. Incident, i.e. what happened. N. Number of injured. E. Extent of how serious the injuries are. If you can, describe the mechanism of injury, the area of injury and how bad it looks, the level of consciousness of the injured, and the estimated age of the injured. If the accident is minor and does not involve any injuries, the police may direct you to report the accident at a police station via the Dubai Police app over your mobile. Make sure that you have your driving license, vehicle registration card, and Emirates ID or passport ready for inspection by the authorities.
Fender benders. Never fun. And what's even more annoying is the time you need to spend dealing with the accident. Heading down to the police station. Filing an accident report. Can this process be done in just 3 minutes? Here's how it works. First, be sure you and the other driver pull over to a safe area. The service will confirm your location and the location of the closest police station. Each of you should file your own report separately. First, you will need to take photographs of the damage done to the vehicle. Be sure you are not standing too close when you take the photo. You want to make sure the camera shot is wide enough to capture the damage and the location of the damage on the vehicles. The service will then prompt you to enter your driver's and vehicle's license numbers, details about the accident, and your contact information. After that, you will be asked to enter the other driver's plate number. Your report will automatically be sent to the police station. That's it. Accidents are never fun, but at least now it's super convenient to report them. After the police complete the investigation, they will send you the final accident report via email or text. There's no need for you to pick it up in person at the police station. You can send the report directly to the insurance company yourself. Download the Dubai Police app today and use the smart police station services whenever you have the need.
If you can, take some pictures of the damage to your vehicle. Avoid taking pictures of the occupants of another vehicle or bystanders, as you may need permission to take photographs or videos of other people. The photos should be shared only with the police. Do not post them on social media. In the event of another driver leaving the scene of the accident, make a note of their license plate number and hand it to the police when they arrive. Do not, under any circumstance, lose your temper, blame another person, or engage in an argument. If the other driver or even another passenger is yelling at you, remain calm and insist that the police will take due action when they arrive. When the police arrive, remain calm and wait until you are spoken to. The police will decide who is at fault and issue the police report in Arabic as a standard practice. Copies of the report that are issued in different colors are A. Pink form, issued to the driver at fault. B. Green form, issued to the driver not at fault. C. White form, issued when neither party is accused or if the other party is unknown. No repairs of any damaged vehicle may be undertaken without the police report. Follow the instructions issued by the attending police officer. The police may decide to take the driving license of any of the drivers involved. Keep a picture of the police report ready in your phone. Inform your insurance or car hire company about what had happened. The insurance or car hire company will advise you what to do with the police report. If the damage of your car is minor, for example, a dented bumper or panel, the attending police officer may permit you to drive away from the scene. If your car has sustained substantial damage or if it has broken lights or glass, a recovery truck will be required. This can be arranged through your insurance company or directly contact a recovery company if the police do not arrange the recovery. Very important. If you witness a collision on your way, avoid slowing down to look at the accident scene, as this may obstruct traffic and/or cause another accident. If you see an ambulance with lights and sirens activated, allow it to pass by, giving way to it. Use of fire extinguisher. The fire extinguisher is a device used to extinguish or control small fires in an emergency. There are different classes of fires for which different types of extinguishers are used. The most commonly used is the dry powder fire extinguisher. It is also the best for vehicle safety. You must opt for a lightweight extinguisher so that it is easy to fix and handle. Make sure you place it in an easily accessible location for the driver. It is highly recommended to have a hands-on training on how to use a fire extinguisher. The steps to use a fire extinguisher are: pull the pin, aim at the fire base, squeeze the handle, sweep the nozzle at the fire. Firefighting tips. In case of a fire while driving, remain calm but act quickly. Move to the closest safe place. Stop the vehicle and turn off the ignition switch. Get every person out of the vehicle and move away. If the fire is small, use the fire extinguisher to fight it. Do not fight the fire. If the fire is at a large scale, if the fire is from the bonnet, or if simply your instincts tell you not to. If you cannot fight the fire, secure the area and call the civil defense by dialing 997 or the police at 999. Always drive safely and expect the unexpected on the road. Maintaining your vehicle. The objective of this lecture is to know about various types of accidents based on case studies, ways to avoid accidents, and maintaining your vehicle for a safe journey. The key modules of this lecture are different types of accidents based on case studies, avoiding accidents, vehicle maintenance. Different types of accidents. We will start with the first module, different types of accidents. In this module, you will know about various types of accidents and their consequences. A road accident is the most unwanted event that can happen to a road user. An accident can lead to several undesirable consequences, including serious injuries, fatalities, property damage, loss of money, loss of income, etc. To understand accidents in a better way, they can be classified into the following types: collision with pedestrian, crash with vehicle in front, crash with vehicle behind, crash with vehicle at junction, crash while going straight or turning left, crash with passing vehicle, crash with oncoming vehicle, single vehicle crash. Collision with pedestrian. Let's start with the first case study. On the Friday morning of October the 7th, 2016, at 7:45 a.m., Police Operation Room received a call regarding a road accident. A young woman was attempting to cross a busy road near Al Mulla Plaza intersection. She was hit by a speeding car and succumbed to the injury on the spot. The accident took place on Al Ittihad Road in direction towards Dubai from Sharjah. According to the General Department of Dubai Traffic Police, the young woman crossed the street about 40 meters away from the pedestrian crossing when the traffic light had already signaled green for vehicles. The driver tried to stop the car but unfortunately could not avoid hitting her. The driver also suffered minor injuries from the impact of the accident. To avoid such accidents, both pedestrians and motorists must stay alert while using the road. Being a pedestrian, it is hard to judge the speed and distance of the vehicles. When crossing the road, always cross through the pedestrian crossing, obey the pedestrian traffic signals, and follow the rules and regulations implemented by the traffic department. Motorists should take extra precautions while dealing with pedestrians because they are more vulnerable to traffic than vehicles. To avoid accidents, motorists should drive at a reasonable speed, scan constantly around the vehicle for any hazards, show courtesy to pedestrians, and drive with utmost responsibility. Crash with vehicle in front. On the Monday morning of September 30th, 2019 at 4:54 a.m., a minibus hit a lorry on Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Road near Mirdif city centre. The 14-seater bus that was carrying passengers hit a lorry that had stopped on the hard shoulder on the way to Sharjah. The minibus driver and 7 passengers were declared dead at the scene. 2 passengers were seriously hurt, and 4 others sustained moderate injuries. According to Mr. Faris Al-Badan, head of the Dera Ambulance Division, 5 ambulances were dispatched to the scene, accompanied by an intensive care medic. Khalifa bin Dre, Executive Director of Dubai Ambulance Service, said the critically injured passengers were taken to the trauma centre at Rashid Hospital. Brigadier Saif Al-Mazuri, General Traffic Department Director at Dubai Police, said the lorry was stopped on the right side hard shoulder of the road when the van collided with it. Accidents involving trucks or vans often lead to catastrophic outcomes. According to authorities, motorists should respect speed limits, scan the road all around, avoid distractions, and use indicators when changing lanes. Moreover, the 2-second rule is a rule of thumb by which a driver may maintain a safe trailing distance at any speed. The rule is that a driver should ideally stay at least 2 seconds behind any vehicle that is directly in front of his or her vehicle. This also helps to avoid tailgating and road rage for all drivers. Crash with vehicle behind. On the 30th of May 2007, a woman died and the driver was injured when their vehicle was hit by another vehicle on A1 Ribat Road while heading towards Nad al-Hamar. According to the report, 3 vehicles were involved in the accident. As per the police report, a driver was speeding without paying much attention to the road. He hit the victim's car from the rear. The impact of the crash was so severe that it swerved the victim's car to the right. The vehicle also hit another car in front after hitting the victim's car. In the meantime, the victim's car hit the barrier and rolled over. No other injuries were reported. Overspeeding and lack of attention are the key reasons in these types of accidents. Motorists are advised to follow the speed limits of the road set by the authorities and avoid being distracted by anything while driving, as it takes their attention away from driving, which in turn may cause an accident resulting in injuries or fatalities. It is also important for drivers to check their rear view mirrors frequently to gather information of other road users approaching at high speeds from behind. Crash with vehicle at junction. On the Friday night of November the 11th, 2011, 3 sisters, including a 4-year-old, had a miraculous escape after their 4-wheel drive vehicle hit a saloon car at a traffic signal in Bur, Dubai area. According to the witnesses, the accident happened at 10:40 p.m. A young lady was driving a 4-wheel drive with her 2 sisters in the passenger seats. She jumped the red light at a high speed and rammed her vehicle into a car in almost a right angle. The 4x4 overturned several times before settling on its side near the U.S. Consulate General at Dubai Creek. Passers-by rushed to the vehicle and pulled the 3 sisters out through the windows as the doors were jammed. Miraculously, they sustained no visible injury, but were apparently in a state of shock. Moments after the accident, the saloon car caught fire, but the driver walked away unhurt. The burning car blocked the weekend traffic on that busy road. 3 police cars, an ambulance, and 2 fire tenders reached the spot in 10 minutes after the incident to find flames leaping out of the saloon car. A man with a fire extinguisher was seen battling the flames before fire officers from Dubai Civil Defence took over and brought it under control. It is always good to remember that jumping a red light is a serious offence, as it may lead to grave accidents, resulting in serious injuries and fatalities. Therefore, motorists are advised to look well ahead, anticipate the situation, and always try to approach the traffic light in a controlled manner to avoid any last-minute reaction. Crash while going straight or turning left. The Wednesday of December the 18th, 2014, witnessed the first accident after the official launch of Dubai Tram. According to a report, a car collided with a tram at Jumeirah Beach Residence, JBR. According to Mr. Mohammed Mudarrab, Director of Rail Operations, RTA, the accident took place at a junction between Station 1 and Station 2. He further explained what went wrong and that this could have been avoided. Two of the lanes head straight while the left lane is for traffic going left. There are two different traffic lights, one for the traffic going straight and one for the traffic going left. What is important to realize here is that these traffic lights function separately from each other. While the traffic light may have given a green light to traffic heading straight, the traffic going left may have been stopped by a red light. The motorist on the left lane mistook the green light meant for the traffic going straight to be his signal while his traffic light was red. He took off at high speed and as soon as he took the turn, he realized that there was traffic coming his way. He promptly stopped his car, but he was on the tram track at that moment. A tram approached. The driver used his emergency brake to minimize the damage, but there was a minor crash, he said. In the case of this accident, the driver of the car could not see the approaching tram because it was in his blind spot, added Mudarrab. However, the driver should have paid attention to the traffic light which was meant for him, he pointed out. There are 3 or 4 similar junctions with tram tracks in the same area, where traffic light functions separately for straight and left directions. It is important that the motorists pay strict attention in these junctions areas and should not take off fast in order to avoid similar accidents. Crash with passing vehicles. This accident took place on the 9th of February 2009 on Dubai Labab Road. A minibus carrying 15 workers collided with a four-wheel drive. In this accident, 3 valuable lives were lost, 2 people suffered serious injuries and others had moderate to minor injuries. According to the police, the driver of the four-wheel drive was speeding when changing the lane. He hit the minibus which was carrying 15 workers. The crash caused the minibus to overturn and hit a metal barrier before traversing onto the other side of the road. The injured were taken to Rashid Hospital. Dubai Police Traffic Department launched an investigation to determine the cause of the accident. In general, sudden swerving, frequent lane changing without observing the vehicles in the blind spot, and over-speeding are the key reasons for such fatal crashes. Motorists are advised to check their surroundings, including rear-view mirrors, use the indicators well in advance as per the desired direction, adjust the speed to suit the conditions, and change lanes smoothly. Crash with oncoming vehicle. This accident happened on Al Wasl Road, killing 3 people on the 9th of May 2008. A car was intending to make a U-turn on Wasl Road on Friday night. 3 people, including a 5-year-old boy, were burnt to death when their car was hit by another oncoming vehicle. According to a senior traffic official, the trees on Al Wasl Road blocked the line of sight at the U-turn. They recommended the removal of all the trees within 200 meters from the spot because they were the main cause of this fatal accident. Salah Bu Farosha, head of Dubai Traffic Public Prosecutions, said that traffic lights should also be installed to make it easier for motorists to turn without danger. Visibility is very important for drivers while driving, especially when entering another road. Motorists need to ensure properly the distance and speed of the oncoming vehicles from the mainstream of the traffic. At any junction or U-turn which is not controlled by traffic lights, and where the visibility is also less due to any obstacles such as trees, bushes, and constructions, motorists are advised to move their vehicles slightly forward with caution and lean their body forward to improve the visibility. Single vehicle crash. A single vehicle collision is a type of road accident in which only one vehicle is involved. Running off the road and hitting any obstacle such as a lamppost, signboard, barrier, or a tree, and rolling over is known as a single vehicle collision. This horrific crash occurred on the Thursday morning of 9th of July 2015 in Khor Fakkan, Sharjah. According to the police, a 14-year-old juvenile took his father's car out at night without his knowledge. He played with his other friends the whole night. The accident took place when they were on their way back home. He was driving at 180 km per hour and lost his control at a curve due to the high speed. The vehicle rolled over several times and crashed into the pavement, the police said. According to the authorities, the car split into two after hitting the pavement and a tree, and the bodies flew out of the vehicle. All the victims were aged between 10 and 16 years and were traveling in the same car. 3 passengers aged between 11 and 14 were killed on the spot, while the driver and 2 other occupants of the car suffered serious injuries. The youngsters were taken to Kolfakan Hospital, where their condition was reported as critical. According to the initial investigation of the police, the accident happened due to overspeeding. Teens are more likely to speed than older drivers. Overspeeding is the key cause of fatal crashes on the roads. Slowing down and taking care by driving safely is the best way to reduce road crashes and fatalities. Higher the speed, lesser the time the motorist has to detect and respond to hazards. Avoiding accidents. In this module, you will learn how to avoid accidents. Driving involves risk, but majority of the drivers do not realize it. They think crashes can happen only to other road users and not to them. This belief is the result of the illusionary zone of immunity, which means when something keeps happening day after day as a routine, people do not think of them as being particularly dangerous. But statistics show that getting behind the wheel of a vehicle is probably the riskiest activity any motorist does on any given day. Therefore, while driving on the road, both novice and experienced drivers should be alert and attentive to avoid accidents, because crashes can happen in a split second and can result in property damage, injury, serious injury, or fatality. Moreover, involving in an accident can also result in long-term physical pain, emotional pain, reduced income, high medical bills, inability to perform regular tasks. There are several reasons for an accident. The common reasons are inattentiveness, recklessness, distraction, not getting enough sleep or rest, having negative attitude, stubbornness, letting stress or other emotions to interfere. Apart from these reasons, statistics clearly show that novice drivers are more at risk on the road in the first year or so after passing their test. This is because when the L plates come off, some new drivers choose to forget what they have learned. They must not forget that even after getting the license, they often need more practice on speed control, risk on rural roads, and driving at night. Therefore, they are always advised to get as much supervised practice as they can to achieve the following: experience to drive comfortably, independently, and safely; ability to drive safely in adverse weather conditions; ability to drive safely at night. In general, both novice and experienced drivers can avoid accidents by driving responsibly, driving defensively. Let's see how to drive responsibly. Motorists cannot control the actions of other road users. Therefore, they should rely on their own driving skills and drive responsibly. Motorists should drive with a positive frame of mind, obey the traffic rules and regulations at all times, always use seatbelt, avoid taking alcohol or sedative medicines, avoid distraction, observe the speed, communicate with other road users, driving defensively. Defensive driving is a set of driving skills that allow motorists to defend themselves against possible collisions, mainly instigated by other road users. It means that motorists should be aware of the actions of other road users and should be prepared to compensate for their mistakes to avoid accidents. The key elements of defensive driving are concentration, observation, anticipation, communication. Concentration. Concentration plays an important role in defensive driving. It must be maintained constantly in order to observe, anticipate, and communicate effectively on the road. The best way to maintain concentration is to keep your eyes moving and avoid fixating. Moreover, to improve focus on the road and to stay safe, motorists may use the following tips. Always plan the journey in advance. Keep cell phone away. Use caffeine drinks to stay alert and focused. Take regular breaks or naps. Avoid multitasking. Remember, commentary driving or talk-through is a helpful tool to boost concentration. Observation is the basic skill of defensive driving. The skill of observation demands practice, concentration, and thought. Good observation helps to drive safely, as it is a tool to identify hazards. Motorists may improve their observation with the help of following techniques. Look well ahead and scan the road properly. Keep eyes moving. Get the big picture. Keep escape route. See and be seen by others. Anticipation. Anticipation is basically spotting and expecting possible danger or hazards on road before they occur. This enables motorists to be prepared and stay safe. The ability to anticipate is facilitated by scanning. To develop better anticipation skills, motorists should have awareness and knowledge of roadway risks, information about the visual scene, ability to forecast emerging and latent hazards, experience and/or the ability to use clues, execution of driving responses to avoid or minimize potential conflicts due to recognized hazards. Communication. Another important defensive driving strategy is communication with other road users. Road is a common sharing place. Therefore, effective communication plays an important role in driving safely and to positively deal with other road users. Motorists can communicate with other road users by using their indicators, hazard lights, brake lights, headlights, and horn. Furthermore, eye contact and observing the body language of other road users also help to make suitable decisions according to the situation. Benefits of defensive driving. Defensive driving not only makes the motorists better drivers, but also helps them to gain reasonable benefits. These benefits may vary in different countries, but commonly they include improved driving skills, fuel-efficient driving, roadworthy vehicle, de-stress driving, no traffic violation fines or black points. Beginner drivers learn safe driving during their license acquisition program, but to drive defensively, it is advisable to attend a reputed defensive driving course. It is a post-license course which helps to understand the implementation of defensive driving techniques better. One aspect of safe and defensive driving is to maintain the vehicle properly, because a poorly maintained or unserviced vehicle is potentially a dangerous vehicle.